The other day, I saw Dr. T. Hassan Johnson make a post about um, black women receiving something. I really wasn't paying too much attention to the specifics of it. I knew it was like some sort of money or something like that. And he was talking about, and he's been, talking about this, about how programs and policies um, that are directed towards the black community exclude black men. And there's this sort of flat blackness, meaning if you're black, you're a black woman. You're not a black man. Black men are excluded, which completely contradicts, what you hear from, your typical feminists that try to say that everything that ever happens is somehow black male centric, and black women feel that they're, excluded from the conversation. But it's far from the reality. The reality is, and I know even from my dealings with the school district, that the focus is always on the girls. The policies are always on the girls. The idea is that the black girls are going to save the black community, right? We have this whole machine, black girl magic, strong, independent black girls, all that stuff, right? That got started somewhere in the late 90s, early 2000s. And, here we are 20 some odd years later. And you look at the community, right? And you look at who's failing. It's the boys. I mean, over a decade ago, I was fighting with people. I talk about the bottleneck, how everybody wants to, they love helping out little black, boys, little children, take them to the zoo and stuff like that. But when you start creeping up around when these boys are entering manhood, 16, 17, going into, becoming or classified as adults at 18, nobody wants to touch them. Whether they're scared of them or they just don't want to deal with them because it's more difficult. I mean, it's stupid to sit there and, like, when you're dealing with the complexities of a young 16-year-old, he's into women, he wants money, you know what I mean? And he's dealing with this environment, right? This hostile environment that he's surrounded by, all the things that a young man, he's trying to find his male identity, right? Being interested in women, maybe, wanting to work out, having some sort of template or a model, how to navigate the world. Understanding how, basically the world doesn't give a fuck about you because not only are you male, but you're black. And then all the responsibilities and burdens that are going to be, tossed on your head. How women are valued intrinsically. But, as a man, like, if you don't produce or provide, like, you ain't shit. But everybody wants to focus on the little boys, because they somehow make this obscure connection that if, we focus on the little boys and take them to the zoo, that somehow that's tied to manhood training program because you had them stand in a single file line at the zoo so that they could see the tiger or something like that. Like, what? Dumb, basic shit. But as soon as we get to 15, 16, and 17, nobody wants to deal with the boys. Aside from the fact that, obviously the type of resources that would go into, let's say, 10 small children is completely different when you're talking about, 10 young men that are heading into adulthood. You got a lot of kids that got to work, co-op, meaning they got to go to school and they got to go to work because their parents don't make enough money. Shit like that. Kids that got to go to McDonald's or got to go to, Wendy's or CVS or Walgreens or something, after school to make ends meet. But the Shade Room put up this post And the title is very misleading because, people don't even take the time to look at what it's into, like what the parameters and everything are. From what I'm seeing, it has to do with like, it's a pilot program in Georgia, $850, for the women. And it says specifically black women. I don't know if it's like the fourth ward or something. I don't know how Georgia's whole environment is set up. There's a bunch of people in there making jokes. And then there's clearly a back and forth between, black men and black women in the comment section. The comments are trash. Like the whole comment section is trash. I mean, aside from the people making jokes, but I'm saying that like the comments from black women, right? And if people want to talk about, you African American men, you don't want your own women and everything. This is the area of why. This is the main area of why. So you got this universal basic income pilot, right? And completely excludes the men. And I'm saying I'm going to go off of just what everybody perceives about this misleading title that was put out there. Let's go with the misleading title because I know most people didn't take the time to do the research. But I want to highlight like how it triggers people and people's responses and how they process the information. Now I could sit here and read through all these comments, but that would take entirely too long. Toss out the people making jokes about I'm gonna move to Georgia. Toss out the people talking about, there's gonna be a bunch of bundles and lashes, and toss that out. That's not what I'm focused on. I'm focused on some of these black women in the comment section. So the men are leaving comments over there saying like, well, what about the men? Right? Now, I don't know whether they listen to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. One woman wrote, these bitter black males from Kevin Samuels. I don't know what Kevin Samuels has to do with this post on the Shade Room. But some of the black men are like, damn, like, I mean, okay, so you doing this pilot program. And the thing is it's not even about the $850, right? It's about the fact that, okay, we're going to do something. Okay, black males, you're excluded. Black women, we're going to do something for y'all. And then the comment section coming from the black women are like, yeah, these bitter black males. Or you got other women talking about, black women deserve this. We're owed this. Like, this isn't even reparation. This isn't reparations for slavery. I'm saying this, the hilarity of the comments, like what's triggering me is I'm like, but 5 minutes ago, y'all talking about y'all killing it out here. Y'all going to the moon and back. Y'all got degrees. Y'all making all the money in the goddamn world. Y'all killing it. And now all of a sudden, the comment section, black women are the victims, and the black woman is the most unprotected woman in the world. And Harriet Tubman. And so one woman brought up Harriet Tubman. I'm not making that up. She was like Harriet Tubman and the other black women. She can't even name other black women other than Harriet Tubman, but she's going to cite Harriet Tubman. I'm like, damn, can I get a Fannie Lou hammer? Like, I mean, just nothing. A Sojourner Truth, nothing. No, just Harriet Tubman. I say Harriet Tubman. That ends all discussion and all debate. I say Harriet Tubman. This whole narrative of, the black woman has been carrying black men on their backs. Like, women up there talking about, like, one woman, she got so triggered, she started talking about, and these black women need it because they out here raising kids by themselves and because of these dusty niggas. Why, again, why are y'all getting with dusty niggas? Why are you having babies by dusty niggas? Why is that even a thing? Like, and I talk about this all the time, about this whole narrative of, let me go out here and get with a dusty nigga so that when shit is broken and it goes foul, I can always blame him. I have nothing to do with this entire situation of these kids that aren't getting support. It has nothing to do with the decisions I made. No, I'm going to go and talk about these dusty niggas. It's, again, as I like to call it, the classic Ray Ray and Pookie argument. You know what I mean? That's one of the things that I love about, like, not being married and not having kids. One of the things that I love and never have gone to jail. Like, I love it because because I can speak on this shit. When these women, like, I could see it, like when they jump up and they sit there and they start talking about niggas with kids. I'm like, chick, I ain't got no kids, so that ain't gonna work on me. Well, niggas in jail. I'm like, chick, I've never been to jail, so that's not gonna work on me. I bet you want a white woman, you know, like, I mean, they just, like, it's hilarious when they do this bullshit. But the part that I'm focused on is, again, it goes back to the core of Dr. T. Hassan Johnson's main point that he's been driving since he came online. And again, I've seen it, I've witnessed it. I'm like, damn, anytime you start talking about focusing specifically on the boys, you know, I look at Philadelphia right now. You know what I mean? Over a decade ago, I was talking this shit, talking to people, you know, in the educational system, like, look, you got to focus on the boys. And now, 2021, what do we see? 14, 15, 16-year-olds carjacking, shooting the place up, all that shit. I'm like, you mean, again, the children that I was discussing, saying they need guidance. I'm like, unbelievable. And so, and again, just like freaking Amos Wilson said, if you bring boys up in a situation where, you know, they're unemployed and underemployed, you know, and you just think that you're just going to instill them with manhood training programs and telling them what not to do and not to do drugs and whatnot. But again, they're still unemployed and underemployed. They will cannibalize the community. They're a bigger threat and a bigger danger to the community than the women are. The women, what they're going to do is they're going to go off and be sexually irresponsible and claim victimhood. That's what women do. Okay, even though we can point to instances where, you know, women are out here now, they're toting guns too. But my point is like, it triggers me the way that a lot of these black women jump between we're killing it, we're CEOs, we're boss bitches, all that shit, to all of a sudden now the group of black women that do need a lot of assistance, now all of a sudden the group of black women that didn't exist 5 minutes ago now all of a sudden exist. And they're not ratchets. They're not the equivalent of Ray Ray and Pookie. No, they're victims to Ray Ray and Pookie. They're victims to the men that they deal with, because again, all black men are evil and all black women are angelic, you know, victims of the evilness of the black male non-existent patriarchy. You know, I mean, you cannot, I've said it so many times before, you cannot walk into a room with black men and black women in the room and say, all right, we got to focus on the boys and deal with the boys because, you know, the problems with, even though the women just filed 50 million complaints about the men and the boys. They filed 50 million complaints. You know what I mean? It's like I got a flat tire. There's a hole in the tire. I'm like, all right, we're gonna take this flat tire, put it up on the damn what do you call that, the jack. Okay, all right, we're gonna take the tire off and then we're gonna plug the tire. No. I want this tire fixed. What the fuck do you think we're doing, bitch? I'm fixing the fucking tire. No. What about the alignment? The alignment? What about the alignment? Well, I'm trying to fix the guy. You identified that the tire, you didn't say anything about alignment. You said the tires fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And then again, it's like there's nothing wrong with the alignment, but they want us to focus on the alignment because of, I don't know, fairness. But you identified that the problem is the fucking tire. I'm trying to fix the tire. Oh, yeah. We can't just focus on the tire. You know, I mean, it's literally, it's like the same thing that white supremacists do. You know, when you start talking about reparations, or you start talking about, fixing the black community and whatnot, like the black community is one of the limbs of America, right? And then, the black community is a part of America, and America is the black community is the broken arm. And then they start, you're like, okay, we got to focus on this broken arm. And they come in like, well, Pete, all bones matter. Like, for real, all, like, but this arm is broken. That's why we focusing on this. Well, you're neglecting the rest of the body. That's literally what the women come in the room. Even though they brag about how good they are. We're killing it. You know, we're swirling, we're hopping the fence because other men recognize how kick-ass we are. All this bullshit. And then you have this program. See, to me, this is just like a glimpse into the problem that I've, pointed out and identified. Dr. T.S. Johnson has pointed out and this is a glimpse of that shit. You start getting, again, even going back to the Ice Cube sitting up there with the Claudia Jordan and, Vivica A. What about black women? He's like, y'all, you could write whatever you want to write in here. You know what I mean? I invited y'all to put whatever you want. Like this, again, like Black America includes both black, but no, they wanted a special section carved out just for black women. Like this, it's like, this is why you can't get anything done. The women, and what makes me just, you be wanting to put hands on these women because, like, in one breath, they'll sit there, they'll identify the problem. This is broken, that's broken. Y'all don't do this, y'all don't do that. Okay, we got to focus on the boys so that we can be in a position to do that at the collective level. And then they got a problem with that. So it's like they want to keep you in this perpetual state of being dusty so that they can blame you for everything and all the wrongs and all the woes, right? And we talk about, okay, we got to focus on the boys so we can fix this. And then they'll start bitching that they're somehow being excluded and, all genders matter or something. Like, again, they're no different than these white people that run up and say all lives matter when black people are talking about Black Lives Matter. It's the same shit. It's like, yo, we trying to deal with police brutality and white people coming around. All lives matter. You know what I mean? But you're not the ones getting gunned down disproportionately like black people are. If black people weren't committing crimes, then maybe they wouldn't get gunned down, right? Just completely ignoring, like, all the systemic racism, the inequality, the Jim Crow, the redlining, the blockbusting, the denial of FHA loans, eminent domain, urban renewal, mass incarceration, convict leasing, right? All this, just ignoring all of that. Just black people commit more crimes, right? And then they just end the story. Oh, y'all wouldn't get shot if y'all wasn't out here committing crimes, right? Completely ignoring that the vast majority of the crimes are economic crimes, and if you solve the poverty, you would eliminate the vast majority of those crimes, right? And again, that's how black women are. That's why, when that article is written, black men are the white supremacists of the black community, I'm like, for real? No, the women are. The women are. And again, the whole situation is, like, they want to slam you. Oh, y'all haven't done this. And so the black woman, she needs this from the government, right? Because y'all black men and y'all failed. Y'all haven't do this. Soon as you start talking about implementing the things to make it to where black men, weren't failing in that capacity or were building and maintaining and everything else, because the trajectory to black women looks like, and this is how, like, the feminist minded many African American women are, because they always talk hypergamy. Again, it's a joke. It's a joke, because again, they want equal hypergamy. I don't even know what the fuck that is. They want a situation where, again, black men are just responsible. That's it. But in terms of y'all, like, blowing past them and they got to depend on you for their survival and you're ahead of them, you know what I mean? And they got to look at you like, and again, like, when you go to a wedding and there's, you ever go to a white wedding and the white women sitting around the table and shit, they brag about their husbands. Oh, what does your husband do? Oh, my husband does this and da-da-da-da-da. And, they brag about that. You know what I mean? But you get in the black circles, it's all about the black woman. It's all about her. You know what I mean? And they try to claim, oh, we support you, oh, we're so down, and all this other shit. No, they support the dusty dudes that they're actually attracted to, and the ones that they have babies by. But they don't actually support these lames that they're not attracted to, they're not into. Again, that whole Jada Will Smith dynamic. You know, Jada up there writing poetry about Tupac, married to a black man whose net worth is like $500 million. Can I get a Will Smith poem? No. You know, so it's like you black men, it's like as African American black men, we're just like kept in this like perpetual state of you know, you start talking about focusing on the boys to fix the community problem, misogyny. That'll be the complaint. Okay, if the problem is not fixed, then it's, well, black women are victims to the evils of black men. You cannot win either way. You know, and again, this whole $850, and ain't nobody gonna go off and buy a house off of that shit. You know, it's a pilot program, you know, that they're doing. You know, I don't know what all the parameters of it are. Guaranteed there's gonna be stipulations, because it's like, you know, it's like, obviously, you know, white people are Fox News is gonna be foaming at the mouth and whatnot about it, right? Because they feel excluded. It's the same shit. Like it's like, you know, as the black man is always, you know, we're the face of all negative statistics. And it's like, okay, we need to focus on black men. No, the black women come through, they start bitching. Right. But it's that, like, black women do the same thing to black men that white supremacy does to the black community in general, but in this regard does to black women. So now you're going to have white people that, again, are dominant members of society, got the complexion for the connection, right? Have far more net worth than black people, you know, per household, all that stuff. And they're going to be up on Fox News bitching, talking about, where's my $850, you know? And then they're going to start slamming black women, talking about, yeah, these welfare queens, right? This is why I'm saying, like, you know, that whole dynamic between black men and black women want to put it all on black men. I'm telling you, a lot of these black women are toxic as fuck. They're toxic as fuck. It's why, you know, the dating the options are trash. It's why they having all these issues. It's why they need to be coached on their femininity and coached on how to be cooperative and all that other stuff. You know, too many of them for too many generations have been raised in these gynocentric, big mama's house, matriarchal setups. And so, like, the whole way that they process information is trash. And then there's so much like distrust between black men and black women. And I just don't see like what is even the purpose sometimes of even having any future conversations about, you know, black people and Wakanda and what black people need to do. And we need to make this move and that move and whatnot. Because again, the family structure is the fundamental unit of a community. And if the men and women don't see eye to eye, then you can't get to the fundamental unit of the community, which is the family structure. And so the community conversations that's pointless, because you can't even get the men and the women to come together. And it's been this way since I was a child. It's been this way. There's black women whining, this color purple bullshit that they're just the victims and carrying on the back and everything else like that. And like I said, that whole situation of, you know, 4-1, you know, where you got, you know, the guys that they actually want that do all the damage. You got women sharing the same dude. They all want the same dude. They want the dude with status and charisma and swag and all that. That's what they want. That's the guy that they're fucking. That when they tell their stories about, and he was cheating and he was running through a bunch of bitches and all this other shit. Yeah, that's 5 different women telling the same story about the same dude. That shit doesn't apply to the guys that, you know, again, they didn't appeal to those women, so they couldn't possibly have been running through them like that. Then when they go off there and they get with some other race of woman or some white woman, then it turns into, colorism, self-hatred, and coon behavior, and they're brainwashed by the media and all this other stuff. And you sit there, even though, yes, there is elements of truth to that. There's elements of that people are self-hating and all that other shit. But there's also a huge segment of where it's like, chick, you didn't want them. You know what I mean? I looked at that the same way that I look at, like, if a sister is like, let's say a sister is slim and she's tall and she's kind of built like a white woman, got long legs, not a whole bunch of ass, and she's with a white dude, I'm not tripping because I know that's where she gets more attention from. You know what I mean? Brothers want, we want thick thighs and ass and a small waist and all this. If she don't got that and she's over with a white guy and it's not your cup of tea, why are you bitching? Why are you saying anything about that? Again, like Harrison used to say, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. You know what I'm saying? And if you get brothers that go out there and they're dealing with others or dealing with Becky because they don't have to reach the maximum heights of hypermasculinity that are required in the black community in order to talk to your everyday, average, around the way girl sister, like, so be it. So be it. But all these, all this shit, like, every time, like, these women, and that's the whole thing. Like, y'all try to come online, you act like you're so sophisticated and you drink wine glasses with your pinky extended out and all that shit, right? But then the minute anything is brought up, to either criticize you or just, again, talk about a situation like this, immediately these women dive into Ray Ray and Pookie arguments. I'm like, so those are the men that you've been dealing with. Like, they don't realize how much they're telling on themselves when they say this shit. I'm like, so that's what you're dealing with. I just had to address a brother in about the Somali bullshit. What did he say? What did he say? He said something about Somalia has never been conquered by the Arabs, and so give me one example of where Somalia was conquered by the Arabs. And I'm like, fuck it, let's go with that. So what you're saying is the Arabs came there, right? And whether y'all mingled or whatever, they blessed you with Islam, right? And then you willingly participated in facilitating the Arab slave trade of your fellow brethren or your cousin from another mother, whatever, if you willingly participate in the slave trade. Is that what you want your narrative to be? So it's either you got invaded or you participated in the shit. One or the other, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't stand these people. Like, that switch up. You know what I mean? When they get caught, it's like what I talk about with the sisters. They want to tell you, ancient Africa, it was matriarchal and women were ruling and all this other shit. I'm like, okay, so we got conquered underneath the matriarchy, huh? No. Or they'll try to say, Africa, it was ruled by women and divine female principles, all this Afrocentric magical stuff, right? And then it's like, okay, so it's in your DNA. Then it has nothing to do with the arguments about black women have this and that attitude because the community is broken. Because what you're saying is you're in the leadership position because you being in the leadership position goes all the way back to ancient Africa, which I don't believe. But I'm saying, like, you see the flip-flopping? Oh, see, it's ancient. Y'all are Negropians. You don't respect the divine female principles, all that shit, right? The black woman is God, right? They try to get you to co-sign all that. I'm like, okay, well, again, there's a problem with this role reversal, matriarchy, all this other stuff. And then the women will go, well, see, the black woman had to be in the driver's seat because she was forced to, because the black man was weak and powerless, and the black man abandoned his black family and the black woman. Right? I'm like, but you just got finished saying that it was ancient Africa, pyramids of Egypt, looking out your third eye, Hotep, Ankhs, and all that. You just got finished saying that the black woman was leading the black man into battle riding a white rhinoceros. You just got finished saying, oh, now you're going to tell me that the black woman should, it's not natural for us to be in the dominant position. We're just in the dominant position because black men are failures. Well, which one is it, bitch? Like, which one is it? Either you in the driver's seat because niggas failed, or you in the driver's seat because it's in your DNA and Earth Mother Goddess, Hoteptress, High Priestess, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Looking out your third eye, looking like one of these Afrocentric plates, with that Lion King pose with the black man holding up his baby to the God rays, and she's the black woman's, holding his waist like that ugly ass communist North Korean looking statue in Senegal. Shit ain't even African. Look shit looks like it belongs in Stalingrad. It's fucking stupid. I swear, I'm like, it just, I don't know. That whole attitude, that whole, like, I'm like, you complain about black men so fucking much. And again, it's like that whole what we deserve, we're owed, we're this. I'm like, how can you be killing it at the same time that you're talking about what you deserve and you've already argued and articulated ad nauseum how much you all think that you've blown past black men, which in many areas and fields isn't even the goddamn truth. But yet everybody buys into this freaking narrative that white supremacy willingly fucking facilitates, and black women just gobble it up till they start believing all these falsehoods and these stupid ass ideas and concepts. Then when somebody actually does the research and starts pulling up the numbers, all these PhD cats, T. Curry or Dr. T. Hassan Johnson and shit, and they start pulling the numbers up, then the black women, they feel bad and you're just black woman bashing. Like I did freaking 10 years ago when it came to this whole narrative of black women. We have more businesses than everybody else, and we're killing it. And they're not killing it. It's like, it was 95, at the time that I looked, it was 95% of black female businesses have 0 employees. So it's just a bunch of black women, going and registering their businesses, probably in Delaware, because they don't have any, they got tax exemptions and shit like that. Probably register their shit in Delaware and then print out a bunch of cards talking about, I got a business, I got a small business, just so they can say that they're a business owner. How many times you see these chicks? This is how bad it is. You go on Instagram, you got these chicks, cheeks out, ass spread, bikini, all this bullshit, and literally the profile will sit there and say some stupid shit like a CEO. CEO of what, bitch? Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur of what? All that ass? What are you entrepreneur? DM me for business. Bro, like, what are you talking about? Like how many times have y'all seen that? How many times have you seen the most ratchet bitches up there on IG, half naked, talking about CEO, entrepreneur? It's like, entrepreneur of what, bitch? Ridiculousness. I don't know how does anybody else not see this? Do I gotta paint, like, how clear of a picture do I have to paint when it comes to this? I mean, read the comments coming from the black women. And again, like, I already know I got boatloads of black women that don't particularly care for me and whatnot, and they can't be objective, but I don't know how anybody can't see this. It just, and again, like, it's like, that's why I always have my issues with sisters. Because I'm like, you can't explain shit to them. You can't, like, they can't like see it. They're so triggered by, I got the black man. Like, one woman, she tried to bring up shit like color. Yeah, the black woman is, y'all niggas, y'all don't want to date us, so we deserve this. Huh? What? Wait, what? Y'all deserve $850, universal basic income, this pilot program because of Harriet Tubman and because some nigga didn't want to date you or something like that. I'm like, I can't. Those Wawa cheesecake smoothies, oh, they're to die for. I mean, absolutely. That's the only thing calming me down right now. I'm gonna have to get up tomorrow and work this off. Probably over 1,000 calories in that damn thing. God, that's so irritating. It's just so irritating. I already know this. It was amazing to me, when I was a younger man. Like, I was just like, okay, y'all, okay, black men are bad and we're terrible and we're committing all this crime and niggas in jail and men now fathers at home. Okay, yeah. Well, we got to start, relatively young, and we got to get these young men that are about to enter manhood. We got to get them on track. Okay, divert all resources. It's like if you're in a damn, like Star Trek or some shit. You in a Starship Enterprise and one of the warp engines go, divert all power to the alternate engine, right? That's what you would think that you would do, right? We're supposed to be diverting power, to the propeller or the engine or the warp drive that actually fucking work, right? It's like, shit, these men are about to be out there in manhood. We need to focus all resources to black men 16, 17, and 18. I mean, or 15, 16, and 17. Divert all resources. No, that's not what we do. That's not what we do. Like I said, it's the bottleneck. The 16 and 17-year-olds, that's where everything gets backed up. That's where you get these kids that they can't graduate high school and shit like that. But everybody wants to deal with the little black boys because they're so cute. Oh, look at him. He's so cute. Oh, I bet you gonna get all the ladies, right? I love when women say that. I bet you gonna get all the ladies. You're gonna be knocking them dead. Then when he's actually out there getting all the ladies and running through bitches, rape and pillage, these black misogynist womanizers. But when he was cute and when he was 5, I bet you gonna get all the ladies. See what I'm saying? Like, these bitches talk out of both sides of their face. Oh, God. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. That's my video. I'm done with this rant. I'm finished. That's my video. SWP out.